Have you ever witnessed a moment so gentle, so raw, that the entire world seemed to stop? A moment when one person's words cut through all the noise, leaving only silence and tears. That's exactly what happened when Kai, with trembling eyes and a voice that carried every ounce of sincerity, looked straight at Tan Songyun and said softly, "You are my son." And at that very moment, even the air around them seemed to pause. Hello drama lovers, welcome back to the Starverse channel. Tonight's story isn't just about fame, awards, or glittering red carpets. It's about something far more human, far more fragile, emotion. Because behind the flashing cameras and the dazzling lights lies a connection so deep between Kai and Tan Songyun that even time itself seems to honor it. This story begins quietly, at an event that was supposed to be ordinary. A media gathering filled with laughter, interviews, and the usual celebrity glamour. But for those who were there that day, they witnessed something different. A spark. A moment that could only be described as real. Kai arrived first. Calm, handsome, dressed in a classic black suit that highlighted his sharp yet soft features. His smile, polite as always, but that night, something in his eyes seemed different, almost searching. Then came Tan Songyun. Elegant, graceful, dressed in a soft pastel gown that shimmered under the spotlight like morning sunlight touching the ocean. When their eyes met, you could feel it. The air thickened. Not the kind of tension that makes people awkward, but the kind that makes hearts stop for a second. Even reporters lowered their cameras for a brief moment, just to witness what words couldn't capture. During the interview session, the host smiled playfully. Kai, do you still keep in touch with Tan Songyun? Kai laughed softly, that familiar dimple showing. Yes, he said calmly. We've always been good friends. But his tone wasn't that of a man talking about a friend. It carried warmth, and a layer of emotion that only those who've loved and lost could recognize. Tan Songyun smiled shyly, trying to brush it off with laughter. But her eyes, they betrayed her. They glistened, not from the camera flash, but from something deeper. Then the host asked the question that made time freeze. If you had to describe Songyun in one word, what would it be? Kai paused. He didn't rush. He looked at her, really looked. And then, with a small smile, he said softly, "Son." The crowd chuckled lightly, but Kai continued, his voice trembling just a little. Because she's warm, she brightens everything around her. Even when I'm tired or lost, she's there, like sunlight after a storm. The room went silent. Even Tan Songyun, known for her cheerful personality, seemed speechless. Her eyes shimmered, and her lips parted slightly as if she wanted to say something, but couldn't. For fans who had followed them since Under the Power, that moment hit deep. It was as if every on-screen chemistry, every glance, every behind-the-scenes smile, suddenly made sense. Social media exploded within minutes. #Kai You Are My Son trended across Weibo, Douyin, and Instagram. Fans wrote thousands of messages. He finally said it. I knew it. Their connection was never just acting. Tan Songyun's eyes said everything her lips couldn't. Clips of that moment flooded the internet. Slow-motion edits. Emotional music overlays. Even those who weren't fans of the pair couldn't help but admit, the sincerity was undeniable. Kai didn't say much after that. He smiled, nodded to the host, and tried to steer the conversation back to lighter topics. But the world had already seen enough. That one sentence, "You are my son," echoed louder than any confession. Later that night, Tan Songyun posted on her social media. No long caption, no photo, just a picture of the sunset with a single emoji, sun with rays #. Fans went crazy. Some said it was her way of responding. Some believed it was her silent acknowledgement. But deep down, everyone knew there was something real between them. Something that time could never erase. Those who had seen them together on set before recalled stories, how Kai would wait for her even after filming Wrapped, how he'd quietly bring her warm tea during night shoots, and how their laughter would fill the entire set. They were comfortable, unforced, natural. A few days later, during a fan event, Kai was asked again about that son comment. He smiled shyly, rubbing the back of his neck. "People keep asking me about it," he said softly. "But I think sometimes, when you care about someone, you just say what your heart feels." He paused for a moment and looked down, his expression tender. "I didn't mean it for headlines. It was just how I see her." And that was the part that melted everyone's hearts even more. He wasn't trying to make news.
He wasn't acting. He was just being honest.
Since that day, fans have started calling Tan Songyun Kai's sun and Shu Kai Songyun's sky. It became a symbol of warmth, of unspoken connection. Not a flashy love story filled with scandals or denials, but a gentle, genuine feeling that shines quietly between two souls who once shared a stage, a screen, and maybe a piece of each other's hearts. Even now, whenever they appear at the same event, fans hold their breath, waiting for another glance, another smile, another small moment that could rekindle the warmth they once felt.
And Shu Kai?
Every time someone brings up Tan Songyun's name, he still smiles that same soft smile, the one that started it all. Because some people, no matter how much time passes, remain your sunlight. So sweet, yet so heartbreakingly real. In a world full of scripted emotions and fabricated stories, Shu Kai's quiet confession reminded everyone that sometimes, sincerity doesn't need grand gestures. Just a few words, whispered softly, can move millions. You are my son.
3 words. Infinite meaning.
And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes their story unforgettable. Because it's not just about fame or fantasy, it's about two hearts that once met and never really drifted apart.
So, what do you think, drama lovers? Was that Shu Kai's real confession?
Or just a moment of nostalgia that reminded him, and all of us, how powerful love can be, even in silence?
Let me know what you feel in the comments below.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because here at Starverse, we'll keep bringing you stories that touch your heart, one quiet moment at a time.